This is Zach with Achilles Financial, and we are back with some stocks in review. What I really want to highlight today is what you see here on the screen is Delta Airlines stock, and this is why I think if you are looking at building out a long-term portfolio, I don't like Delta Airlines, and where I'm going to point you instead is into the chip industry, computer chips. The reason that I don't like Delta Airlines is, if you recall, everyone, the way that they're saying, hey, you should invest in them is by clicking on this 3-month tab right here, They're saying we're going to be back at the $60 range by the end of the year. And frankly, I just don't think that that's what's going to happen with the airline industry. If you've been following the reports, Delta says that they currently have about 3 times the amount of pilots that they anticipate they will actually need during the course of this fall. We're already in midway through May. We're almost halfway through the year. If you think about that, we're getting ready to be in June. The airline industry is not going to recover this calendar year, and most people are saying that it's not really going to recover until 2023, and that's under the assumption that there's not a spike in coronavirus cases. So the idea that we're going to see a $60 dividend-paying Delta stock by the end of this year is just not going to happen. And if I miss out on this growth, then that's on me, and I am okay with that. Again, it's difficult to look at something like this and recognize, hey, you could have made 20% in a single week. However, I'm not looking to swing trade on this stock. I'm looking to build out that long-term portfolio. So if that's my plan and that's what I'm looking to do, where do I want to place that same money that I would have been looking at? And the stock that I'm looking at is AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices. The reason that I really like AMD, as you guys who have been following the channel have seen, I actively play this stock fairly often, and I would love to get 100 shares of this stock. However, that is not inexpensive. If you recall, I've played down around the 50, and I've also played, I believe it was actually up here when we were looking at those $60 calls way back when. The reason that I really like AMD is because they are the prime competitor with NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is killing it, AMD is killing it. They have a lot of respect in the marketplace, and they are going to continue to do well in the years to come. Now, long-term portfolio, as you can see, they don't have a dividend yield. Think of this as a growth stock, not a value stock. So that being said, what we traditionally saw historically is that you wanted to have a nice blend of both, and in your long-term portfolio, a lot of people were looking more at those value dividend-paying stocks. However, AMD could blow up over the course of the next few years. You can see a similar trend line that we saw with NVIDIA, where in earlier part of this year, we had a great run, and then all the way back in 2018, when people were mining Bitcoin, you saw the chips spike up again. So over the past 5 years, we've seen a 2,300% increase. If you look at NVIDIA during that same time period over the course of the past 5 years, you're seeing a 1,600% increase, and that's obviously a lot higher starting price than what we just saw for AMD. So if we're looking at AMD, where can they go from here? What's the potential? Again, we're only at $56 right now, and this is an industry that's expected to grow not by millions more, but billions more on a year-by-year basis. So I think that this is the opportunity where we actually are not even back to their 52-week high. So if we can take advantage of that today, then we're going to continue to see that growth. So if you're already thinking, hey, I want to pile my money into Delta because we're going to see a short-term gain, I don't agree. That's my personal opinion. Feel free to disagree with that statement. But I think the tech industry is going to blow up, and we could see AMD continue to rise throughout the end of this year. One of the key things that I want to highlight for AMD stock is both Intel as well as NVIDIA have already announced acquisitions this year. AMD has not, and they're sitting on a stockpile of cash. That being said, I would anticipate seeing a acquisition made by the end of this year. If you look what happened to NVIDIA since they finalized their acquisition of Mellanox, this is over the course of the past month. They've skyrocketed upwards. And that's not to say that they didn't already do well leading into March and February. They've already surpassed that with the finalization of the Mellanox company. So that being said, I see a lot of potential in Nvidia. However, it's a very expensive stock, and I think they've made a lot of the gain. So I'm going to be pouring my money into AMD for the long-term portfolio. So this is my opinion as to why I think you should be trading AMD in the chip sector as opposed to trying to make it big in airline stocks right now. Let me know if you have a different opinion or if you're going to follow a different play in the comments below. If you found this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.